Alright, what's up guys? In my last video I discussed pretty in depth on how to make friends. So the more you understand of like how things work around that way, the easier things will naturally get. Like your subconscious will pretty much not be doing things to sabotage you and will just help you out. So in this video I'm gonna go over some like actionable things you can do. Some things that you can do and maybe habits or patterns you can either stop or put in place to actually, actionable steps to make friends. And it'll be like a do's and don'ts list. So let's get started. The first one is you do want to be positive, light, and fun most of the time. This is, a lot of people like this. It's fun, it's light, it's engaging. People naturally want to be around you. However, with that being said, you don't want to be faking it. If you're having a shit day, because we all have shit days every now and then, you just want to accept it. And if someone asks you, be like, "Hey, I'm just having a bad day. I'm not too talkative today." Um, and that's a lot better than just complaining all the time. So if you're like quiet or something one day, people be like, "Hey, he's having a bad day." It happens. It's not ideal, but it's the best that you can do in a shitty situation. However, if you're having bad days all the time, clearly that's a thread or a theme in your life of a bigger problem. You got to fix that. So because then you'll know why because if you're feeling like shit all the time, that's on you. You can't just fake being fun, light, all the time if things aren't going your way. So, number two, you do want to be genuine because there will come a time, uh, how do I put it? You want to be genuine with people. However, there will come a time where you will have to say something that has a good chance of hurting someone's feelings or whatnot. However, you know, myself personally, I have expectations for other people to handle it and and take it constructively, even though most people don't. But the onus is also on me to communicate it in a way that I'm not coming off as a complete asshole. And I would suggest the same for you. You got to say certain things sometimes. You want to be genuine. You don't want to come off as a complete asshole. It's like you don't got to be a dick about it, but you got to say something in a nice way. And then obviously, if they take advantage of that, then you got to tell them what's up. But you got to call someone out on the bullshit, especially if someone does something dumb more than once. But genuinely or generally, you want to be genuine with people. People can sense that, and then people will trust you. And trust goes a long way when it comes to building and maintaining friendships. And then what I have, the last do that I have is try meeting people doing things you already enjoy doing. If you meet people, or engage or interact with people when you're doing something you're already doing, it just comes off more natural. You guys can relate to the interest or the activity or whatever you're doing, and it doesn't feel like it's forced in any way, which is definitely not something that'll work for you. Okay, now we got the don'ts list, and this is big. There's more don'ts than do's, and I'll get through hopefully all of them because a lot of people like sabotage themselves when it comes to making friends, and so you want to pay attention to this. Okay, so the first one is don't beg for favors, especially when you're meeting someone new. I'd like to think this is obvious. Um, they don't know you, you don't know them. It's just inappropriate, but many people get this, they just don't understand. Another thing is goes with kind of similar with the first don't beg for favors point is don't ask for a lot, especially when you guys are first meeting or you just barely know someone. Um, if you guys have known each other for a while, obviously you can ask your family member for a lot because they're your family member. So, but just don't be dumb. I'd like to think this is common sense, but it really isn't. So, however, you also don't want to be that person who's afraid to ask for anything. It's like, what's a good example? If two people are going to the same place and you barely know the person, but you know them somewhat, asking someone for a ride when they're going to the same place, come on, man, like that's okay. You don't want to be that kind of shy person, but at the same time, don't be asking them for a ride to, I don't know, somewhere 30 minutes the other way, if that makes sense. Okay. Another thing not to do is don't argue. Personally, I refuse to argue, you know, but Uh, don't argue with people, especially when you're just getting to meet them. It'll just throw off the wrong type of energy. No one's going to want to be around that. And on top of which, it says a lot about you if someone's able to get you to argue right off the bat, you know. So, obviously you care a lot about the either the topic, the person, or whatnot if they're able to like rile you up so quickly, and that's a personal thing. So, but yeah, don't argue. I'd rather just be quiet than argue, especially with people I barely know. It's not very it's not a good thing. All right. Next one is don't fish for compliments. Don't fish for compliments when you're meeting people or getting to know people right off the bat. You know, it's like a bad habit that a lot of us have ingrained in us, but come on, man. Like, do you want the person to make you feel better for now, or do you want to genuinely like? I mean, maybe if they're a dweeb or something, and you're just like whatever, but still, it says a lot about you if you're fishing for compliments, anyways. So just don't do it. All right, what do we got next? Oh yes, this is a big one. Don't kill the vibe. Try your best. Like if you notice all these, so far, they all kill the vibe. They all kill the fun, the vibe, the experience you're having. People will remember you based on the experience that they had with you. So be smart. I mean, not only for your own sake, but don't you want to just enjoy your time, with or without the other people? And it's not necessarily all about the other person, but it takes two to tango. So, just keep it light, fun. It like back to that deuce point. So don't kill the vibe. This is another big one coming up here. Don't complain about your life or a lot about the same problems that you have. Everybody does this, and they get real comfortable in friendships and relationships that all they do is complain, complain, complain about the same things going on in their life. So this is big. Um, yes, to some of your friends, you need to lean on them sometimes to complain. However, you sure as hell don't want to do that when you're first meeting someone. Why? Because it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate to complain to people you don't know about, certain things because you're not doing them a favor and you're showing them one of the worst sides of you. Even if this doesn't happen to you very often, the fact that you are, how do I put it, you're willing to complain to a stranger says a lot about you. So it says that you complain a lot and you have a lot of problems in your life. But yeah, learn, to be cognizant of the fact when you do or you have that urge to complain about something going on in your life, and then just try not to do it. And if it's something that you notice you complain to your friends all the time about, like the same thing or the same theme, that is a symptom of a larger problem in your life, and you want to take care of that. You want to be like, hey, I always complain about my job, my job, my job, or my friends, my friend, my friend. It's like, hey, you got to handle that. That's on you. That's no one's responsibility but yours, and ain't no one wanting to hear about it. So, one more time. It's not all about the other person, but it's about you figuring out how to come across as your best self and how to better yourself in your life. So, and people naturally want to be around them. And then I think the last point I have here is don't try to befriend everyone that you meet. Because when people want to make friends or connections or be part of a group, they have this like almost like desperate vibe that they want to befriend everybody that they meet. And it it's just not natural. It's like when you were at school, did you want to be friends with everyone? No, there's some people you naturally vibe with, you naturally get along with, and you guys' values and such are aligned and your interests, and others you didn't. So when you try to unnaturally befriend people quickly or skip or make the process go quickly, towards like spending too much time with someone right off the bat, or I see this in relationships all the time, like progress things so quickly, people getting in relationships like that, and it's like that's not natural. I mean, true, there's certain people that are good, but I would like to think that you'd like to take your time and get to know the people accurately before, as so you can build a solid foundation of trust and respect before, you guys, whether that be friends, of course, or relationships, whether you guys deem that you're good friends or in a relationship or whatnot. So just be cognizant of the fact that it does turn a lot of people off when you try to rush things in accelerated, unnatural rate than relationships go. And it's, I don't think you would appreciate that if someone did that to you and you'd feel something's off and you'd just be turned off by it. So understand that and try not to do that. Okay. And I will leave you guys with one final point. The more, and this is a theme behind all of this, the more in order your life is, the more easier like this whole process of making friends gets as a whole. Because the more things you have working for you and the less things you have that are like against you, the less problems that you have, so to speak. I mean, you always have problems, but the kind of problems you have and the lack of problems being like a theme or a thread, you'll naturally not complain. You'll naturally be more happy with your life. You'll naturally have more things that you're doing. You'll naturally be more genuine. You understand this whole entire process gets easier. So that is my final point. The more the more in order your life is, and the more full your life is, ironically, the less you'll want friends, the more you'll be selective with the people in your life, and the easier it'll all get. All right. Hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully this was informative. Like, share, and subscribe if that is the case. I will see you guys soon. Thank you very much.